Moomen. We are live here, and we are also live on Facebook, as well as streaming live on our website at www.gbcghanaonline.com. Tonight, we turn our attention on a health matter, which is stroke. And I'm sure you know about stroke. I will not attempt to give any definitions of stroke and what it is, because I have the very right person here who has been engaged in getting assistance for people who have been affected by stroke, and working to ensure that as much as possible the rate at which people get affected by stroke reduces, not just in this country but also elsewhere. Indeed, there's a man who has worked for many years in the UK, and at some point he was the president of the UK Stroke Association. I'm talking about Dr. Ben Jabuni. Dr. Ben Jabuni is the president of the Stroke Association Support Network here in Ghana. Doc, very many thanks for accepting our invitation here.
Thank you.
First of all, anytime we talk about a doctor, I've had to refer to you as doctor, but let me also just add that my guest tonight, Dr. Ben Jabuni, is the chief of the Welembele traditional area of the Upper West region. Sometime later on, we will get to profile him and then get to know what he's been doing as a traditional ruler. But tonight we're focusing on what he has been doing as president of the Stroke Association Support Network of Ghana. Doc, once again, many thanks. But I was just asking that when we talk about doctor, especially within the contexts of stroke and other diseases, then naturally everybody believes that you are a medical doctor. Are you a medical doctor?
No, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm what you might call a proper doctor, a PhD type doctor, a doctor of clinical psychology, and I have been regarded as a medical doctor, but I'm not a medical doctor. I have to emphasize that.
How did you become involved in matters of stroke, starting from the UK?
Well, I went to the UK to study, and after studying, I got a job with the UK National Health Service as a psychologist. I worked with the Charing Cross Medical School. I was teaching there as a clinical assistant, and I also worked there in their mental health services. Then at some point, while I was there, I became interested in people generally, in psychology as such. Then 3 years into my work at Charing Cross Medical School, my mother died from stroke back in Ghana. And that was the first time I learned what stroke really entailed. And then the following 4 or 5 years, I started studying in detail about the condition of stroke, and then came to get myself committed to working with stroke. Then I decided to look for a job that focused on helping stroke survivors. And I came upon an advertisement which was looking for a UK director of stroke services for the UK Stroke Association. I applied for it and I got it. And thank God that I got it. I worked very hard, and for 10 years I was able to initiate a plan which we implemented. At the end of it, we had 10 stroke association centers throughout the United Kingdom.
And I'm struggling to frame my question, because stroke should be dealing, and stroke patients should be dealing with hospitals and medical doctors, not with associations. Stroke patients need medical attention, not an association. to give them what? Entertainment?
Okay, now let me explain this. The organization is called Stroke Association Support Network Ghana. In the UK, it was just called the Stroke Association. The association is probably what is causing the confusion. Stroke is a medical condition and needs medical attention. There's no doubt about that. When a person suffers stroke for the first time, they are admitted into hospitals pretty quickly, or they should. And once they have received acute treatment, the first stages of treating them, then there comes a time where other professionals become important in the overall package of care for the stroke individual.
Right.
That you have psychologists, you have nurses, you have speech and language therapists, you have physiotherapists, etc., etc., who are all members of the multidisciplinary team that come together to support aspects of the stroke illness, if you like.
Interesting. So, in all of this, you were talking about support for persons who may already have stroke.
That's right.
But also working to ensure that as much as possible, people stay away from stroke, so to speak. What are the symptoms? What are the signs that we should all be looking out for? Because usually when you speak to young people about certain diseases, and stroke is one of them, they believe it's an illness for people of a certain age category. Is that the case?
First of all, it is not the case that it is an illness for certain age categories. Stroke can affect everybody, anybody, at any time. It is a deadly condition. It can affect children, can affect even babies. It can affect young people, it can affect old people. And 1 in 4
Can affect babies?
Oh yes, there have been records of stroke, babies with stroke. But I have to qualify this and say this is not a big problem.
Right.
But it is beginning to happen. So it is not just a condition that affects only old people, as many people think. Now, the symptoms of stroke, for example, let's say you and I are walking on the street, and may God forbid, you start having a stroke. If you start having a stroke, there are certain symptoms that people must know and which they must act upon pretty quickly. We use the acronym so that people can remember this, the general public. We use the acronym FAST.
F-A-S-T?
Yes, sorry, F-A-S-T. Now, if the F stands for, if you are suffering stroke, if you are beginning to have a stroke, your face becomes twisted and begins to drop and become wonky. You know, it's no longer as it is now. If I notice that, I will begin to think perhaps you are having a stroke. If I then ask you, as my companion on the roadside, to raise your arms, ask the individual to raise both arms, and they fail to do this, then that is an additional symptom of the fact that you might be suffering a stroke. That's the A. That's what the A stands for. The S stands for speech. If I ask you to talk, your speech will be slurred, as if you are drunk or you've taken alcohol or something. It will be slurred. And if you notice these three things, then you've got to act fast. You've got to pick up a phone and ring the emergency service. That's where the time is of the essence.
I'm going to ask us to pause here. We'll go for a break. My directors will help. We can go for a break at this point. When we return, we will at some point in the show give you a number that you can call if you know someone who has stroke, needs support, call and speak directly to Dr. Ben Jabuni. We'll take a break. When we return, the show will continue. When the voices that matter speak, they speak to GBC. They speak on Moomen tonight.
By some of your appointments, you appear to be creating a parallel civil service.
2020 is not too far away from today. Are we seeing a comeback?
Would you say that HEPIC truly served any purpose?
The debt overhang on the economy of our country was such that the country couldn't bear it.
We've moved more people out of poverty and hunger since 1992 than any other era in the period of Ghana.
Under my watch, the Ghanaian economy picked up.
A legion of it is being trained in terms of security.
Aging stage of your life is a time you have to plan for.
Death is a universal name.
Persons who would take their lives by suicide may, prior to the act, have given us a lot of information.
I am sufficiently intelligent to know that.
Yes, there's corruption in the Parliament of Ghana.
They make me feel bad.
We have not departed from our core principles.
I should be able to count how many millionaires I've been able to create.
There was only one incubator, and by the time we set up and put her child in, the child was dead.
They run away because they don't want to get married at that early age.
Moomen tonight, here, we don't just talk, we push the talkers to walk the talk.
Moomen.
Maybe GBC deserves the TV license.
Mr. President, I thought this is your main issue.
This is my big goal.
From Mondays to Thursdays on GBC News Channel at 8:15 p.m. When the voices that matter speak, they speak to GBC. They speak on Moomen tonight.
By some of your appointments, you appear to be creating a parallel civil service.
2020 is not too far away from today. Are we seeing a comeback?
Would you say that HEPIC truly served any purpose?
The debt overhang on the economy of our country was such that the country couldn't bear it.
We've moved more people out of poverty and hunger since 1992 than any other era in the period of Ghana.
Under my watch, the Ghanaian economy picked up.
A legion of youth is being trained in terms of security.
Aging stage of your life is a time you have to plan for.
Death is a universal name.
Persons who would take their lives by suicide may, prior to the act, have given us a lot of information.
I am sufficiently intelligent to know that.
Yes, there's corruption in the Parliament of Ghana.
They make me feel bad.
We have not departed from our core principles.
I should be able to count how many millionaires I've been able to create.
There was only one incubator, and by the time we set up and put her child in, the child was dead.
They run away because they don't want to get married at that early age.
Moomen tonight, here, we don't just talk, we push the talkers to walk the talk.
Moomen. Maybe GBC deserves the TV license.
Right, if you just joined us, this is Moomen tonight. We're having a conversation about stroke, the signs, the symptoms, and the treatment. And we're having a conversation about that with Dr. Ben Jabuni. Dr. Jabuni is the president of the Stroke Association Support Network of Ghana. And so very soon we shall project a telephone number on the screen. For those of you who are watching us, you yourself may have suffered some stroke. You need some support of any kind. Call in, speak to Dr. Jabuni. You just might get some help. If you know somebody who can't speak for themselves, you can call on their behalf. If you have ever experienced any signs, some of the signs that doctor spoke about, if you have had the symptoms, also call. Just let's discuss your problem. You may choose not to identify yourself. We do not mind. And then later on, doctor will be also leaving some phone numbers that after the show you can reach out to him for those out there who need help. If you know somebody, please, by all means, do call when we project the number on the screen. So, Doc, usually we hear people talk about a mild stroke. So there's a mild stroke and there's a severe stroke.
Yes.
There are different types of stroke.
Yes, there is a mild stroke and there is a severe stroke. A mild stroke, sometimes called transient ischemic attack. Transient ischemic attack, which means that it only attacks you briefly, just for a minute or two, and then goes away. When it attacks you in that way, the transient ischemic attack, you may find that you are dazed. You are no longer focused. It's like you are confused slightly for a period. Then you become normal. It could be any time between even 1 minute and a couple of minutes to 1 hour even. But you can resume your normal duties afterwards. Now, if you have a transient ischemic attack or a stroke that is not severe, a small stroke, we sometimes say, then it is a sign that you could have a bigger stroke in the future.
But so then that brings me to the next question. What is it that accounts for people developing stroke?
Okay. I think the best place to start is with certain factors that people who suffer stroke may have that come together, combine together to make them suffer the stroke. We call them risk factors, stroke risk factors. Now, if you have a number of these factors coming together in your life, then there is a possibility that you could suffer a stroke. One of the most important such risk factors is hypertension, high blood pressure. And we know that there's a lot of people, many people in this country that have hypertension, high blood pressure. That's one important risk factor. But on its own, it wouldn't necessarily make you suffer a stroke, but it could. Then we have, if you have diabetes. If you have diabetes, it is also an important risk factor that could lead you to suffer a stroke. Then, if you are somebody who takes very little exercise, you could end up being obese, big, but the most important thing is you do not take regular exercise. That is a risk factor of stroke. Also, another risk factor that is important is if you have high levels of cholesterol in your blood. It's not all cholesterol that is bad. There's good cholesterol and there's bad cholesterol. We're talking about the bad cholesterol.
Okay, so we're sorry to cut in there. The number is on your screen right now. It's 0200-278376. Call right now. Speak to doctor tonight. You are the guest. I'm just a moderator between you and my guest tonight. You ask all the questions. We have a caller on the line. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Tamale. My name is Alasan.
Alasan from Tamale. Alasan, we have Dr. Benjamin. Yes, go ahead.
I have a problem with my legs. Both legs get warm at night. Through my toes, I feel it warm.
He says he feels warm in his leg, especially at night. That's what I heard. All right. Okay. Yes. Thank you very much, Alasan. Doctor will attend to your query right now. Doc.
You know, at the beginning I said I wasn't a medical doctor.
Yes.
What he has just described probably has nothing to do with stroke. And I'm not really, it would be misleading for me to try and advise him.
Okay. So, Alassane, your issue, Doc says does not fall within his remit, but all the same, you need to take care of yourself. Instead, let's exercise regularly, reduce the bad cholesterol levels, and then those of us who have high blood pressure and diabetes need to tread cautiously as well. Number on your screen, 0200278376. We have a call on the line. Yes, tell me your name, where you calling from, and then proceed.
Yes, sir. My name is Dajan. I'm calling from Beini.
Right, from Jomoro. Go ahead, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please, the doctor just mentioned one of the great factors are BP. But what are the causes of the BP?
So we're looking at stroke because he has been working within, if you like, call it, with stroke patients and offering support to them over a long period of time. It doesn't fall within his remit, I believe, or it does, to talk about factors that lead to high blood pressure.
I can say that one of the factors, one of the important factors that can lead to high blood pressure is lifestyle. If you are fond of eating, shall I say, junk food, if you are fond of not eating a balanced diet, if you don't add vegetables and fruits in your diet, and you don't exercise, as I said earlier, then there is a strong chance that you could develop high blood pressure.
All right, thank you very much. I'm expecting that people who call will talk directly about stroke. You yourself, or you know somebody who has it, what help does the person need? Doctor and his group, the Stroke Association Support Network, Ghana. They're here to help you. If you have symptoms or you have had stroke yourself, this is the time to get some help in whatever kind, in whatever way that they can. You just name your problem and probably you will get a solution to it. That's what we're expecting, not for you to call in and ask other general medical questions.
That's right.
Yes, so, but you've been doing this in Ghana.
Yes, but I was talking about the factors,
yes,
the risk factors, right, but I haven't actually finished with the factors. I think it's important also to underline that smoking is another very big risk factor. Drug use is another very big risk factor.
Okay, Doc, you know what I will do? I'd like us to just use some amount of the time, respond to the callers, then I'll give you the rest of the time to talk about these ones.
All right.
Okay, so we have a caller on the line. What's your name? Where are you calling us from? Hello, what's your name? Where are you calling us from?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Talk to us. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Yusuf.
Yes, go ahead.
My name is
Right. Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, speak to doctor. You have a problem, you know somebody who has a problem in respect of stroke?
My stroke, and he has energy. I want to know what will I do for him to come back?
Okay, so what I heard, and forgive me if her mom has mild stroke. What can she do to help?
For 3 years now.
For 3 years now?
Yes.
Okay, what can be done to help the mother?
Yes, when she said mild stroke, what are the symptoms? What is her mother experiencing? Is her mother disabled? Can her mother talk? Can her mother walk? Has her mother ever gone to hospital, for treatment, to see a specialist? I think it is important that her mother does this if she hasn't already done it.
But what sort of help do you also, as an association support network, offer stroke patients?
Yes, who are there. Now, what we can do is to provide advice on what to do if somebody has a mild stroke. We don't know what the problem is as far as the mild stroke is concerned.
Right.
Whether it is the inability to walk, whether it's inability to speak, whether it's inability to swallow when she eats. If we know these things, then we can point this person in the right direction and support them to receive the appropriate intervention or treatment.
Okay, so if you're still watching, the caller from Kotobabi, at the tail end, we will leave a phone number where you can directly then engage doctor and the group, the Association Support Network for Stroke in Ghana, and probably your mother can be giving all the support that she needs. Do we have another call on the line? What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Samuel, calling from Bunkurugu.
Bunkurugu. Wow.
Yes.
All right, Samuel, go ahead. Talk to us.
Yeah, my intention I did was traveling, all of this. Suddenly he had the stroke. One side of the body, the leg and the hand, totally condemned. And up to now, we find it difficult with the hand. And then for the leg aspect, sometimes he managed to work on it, but he can't fully work on it as of now. 2009.
Wow. And so one thing is, so what do you want? You have name your problem and ask for help. Doc is here. He will offer that help.
So currently, our problem is that he's not under any medication, and we are not financially. So we need help so that he can get help.
Okay, so yes.
So the mother, is it the mother?
Yes, is the mother.
Yeah, the mother is paralyzed down one side of the body. So she can probably do very little at home, or even if she is employed, she is probably not able to go to work. Paralysis down one side is one of the problems of stroke. And if you have got that, then really she should have gone to hospital to receive rehabilitation, to be put on a rehabilitation program where she will have physiotherapists and occupational therapists. Physiotherapists will help with the flaccid limbs and the limbs that she cannot use. Occupational therapists will help her to adapt her way of life so that she can become independent. Eventually she learns what to do to become independent, because she's going to live with this disability, you know, for the rest of her life. But she can do things that with the help of these healthcare professions to enable her to live an independent sort of life.
He made a request, medication. Do you have a way of helping people who are unable to afford to buy medicines, for example?
We are looking at that right now and working with the Ministry of Health. This is a very important issue, medication for people who have got a stroke. I mean, it's a major headache for stroke survivors, their carers, and family.
We have another caller on the line.
That's something we are looking at.
Yes, tell me your name, where you're calling from, and what your problem is.
Good evening. I'm calling to from the Volta region. I have high pressure, and I want to have treatment to don't get the stroke.
Okay. He says he has high blood pressure. What can he do to avoid getting stroke?
He should go to hospital. He should go and see his doctor. It's important to be given high blood pressure medication. His high blood pressure's got to be managed, and it can be managed. But it is a doctor, a medical doctor, that will do this for him. So he should go to hospital with and get his blood pressure measured, and if it is high, they will prescribe a way of managing the high blood pressure.
All right, we'll take two more callers and then we can focus on the rest of the discussion from the studio. We have another call on the line. Thank you very much for calling. Tell me your name and where you are calling us from.
I'm calling from Upper West.
Oh, okay.
My name is Ali too. My problem at times, if I'm going to hospital, they check me that my BP is okay. But at times, if I'm moving is woman, my joint.
Your joints.
I'm calling from Upper West.
Okay. Yeah, we heard you. We heard that part. The last bit you said, if you are, what happens to your joints?
My joint has pain. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. The network did not give me time to hear him well, but I think he says he's having pains in his joints.
But my joint pain. If I'm moving with wife.
Oh, okay. So what he's saying is that if he's with his wife, he's copulating, he feels pains in the joints, and he perhaps suspects that could be a sign that he may be on his way
to having a stroke.
Yes,
I'm not aware that could joint pain during copulation would lead to a stroke. I haven't come across it ever before. It's not one of the risk factors of stroke. As far as his joint pains are concerned, I think he should go to hospital and sought appropriate help.
Well, we'll take our penultimate caller right now. What's your name and where are you calling us from? You are our last but one caller.
Hello, I'm calling from the Volta region.
Yes, tell us your name also. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. Talk to us.
From the Volta region.
That's right. And what's your name?
Yvonne.
Yvonne, speak to doctor.
I'm feeling pain in all my joints. Yes.
Okay, Yvonne, we understand. It's very similar to the... Yvonne, thank you very much for calling. Did you say you have a stroke? Okay, we have to
lost her.
Yvonne, thank you very much. I think we lost Yvonne. We'll take the very final caller. Unfortunately, we can't pick all the calls that are coming in. You will be our very last caller. Hello, many thanks for calling us. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello.
Yes, what's your name? Good evening. What's your name? The network is not helping us, unfortunately. So
it's come back.
Okay.
My name is Felix Akoto.
Felix Akoto, yes, speak to us.
Felix Akoto from Volta region.
All right. Felix,
we want the doctor to tell us the symptoms of stroke. Then we can also know questions to ask.
All right. Thank you very much, Felix Akoto, from calling from the Volta region. So, indeed, before we began to answer the phone calls, that's what doctor was talking to us about. So, the symptoms, really, that's what he also wants to find out. Yes. And that'll be it for the phone calls. Thank you. Yes, please, let's talk about the symptoms. You were on that
yes, I was talking
we
about...
can take off the number on the screen now. We are picking no more calls. Thank you very much, production team. Yes.
Yes, I was talking about the use of the acronym FAST. The F, the A, the S, and the T. If you are suffering a stroke, if you are having a stroke, if somebody suspects that you are, whether it's a family member in the home or it's a friend or whatever situation it is, you see your friend or family member, you suspect they are having a stroke. There is this FAST acronym that you can apply. As I said, the F stands for whether their face is drooping. Their lips is turning to one side, and they look a little bit old from what they were a moment ago. Now, if you then ask them to raise their arms together, their hands together like that, and they are unable to do it, then that's another indication that they may be having a stroke. That's the A part of the fast. Then the S is the speech. If you find that they cannot talk, or when they talk, their speech is slurred, as if they are drunk, that's also a sign that they are having a stroke. And the T is, if these three things, if you see these three things, then you pick up the phone and ring the emergency services. Time is important, because if you delay, then the person who is suffering the stroke or who has suffered the stroke will get more difficulties by the time they reach hospital, because in about 8 minutes the brain begins to die, or the part of the brain that is not getting oxygen that they should be getting will begin to die. And the longer you take to get them to hospital, the more disabled they will become if they don't die before they get to hospital. The more disabled they will become, even if they are treated when they get to hospital.
How prevalent are cases of stroke in the country?
1 in 4 of us, and that's very big. 1 in 4 of us will suffer a stroke in our lifetime.
Meaning, out of every 100 Ghanaians, you are going to get more than 20%.
Something that if
yes, out of every 100, you can get 20 people.
Yeah, suffering a stroke.
That is big.
That's huge. It is huge, and it's a big problem. About between roughly about 10,000 people die from stroke in this country every year.
10,000 people.
Yes.
We should be concerned. The coronavirus within a year has not killed up to 2,000. Yet a lot of attention has been paid to that. But I don't think that so much attention has been paid to the issue of stroke, given the fact that it kills so many people.
It is a national emergency. There's no doubt about that. For whatever reason, it's been neglected or ignored. But right now, I'm pleased to say that the Ministry of Health is working with us pretty strongly to create a health environment for those who suffer stroke to be treated properly in stroke units across the country. We are just beginning the partnership, and we are learning from each other, so to speak. So I'm confident that going forward, this will become a national priority, and I hope it becomes a national priority pretty quickly.
So when we saw the number of people who were eager to call, and I'm receiving signals that others are still even calling, even as we speak, it tells you that it is a problem that is prevalent, and you have given us a figure. Is it 2 out of what's the figure you gave? You get
I said one out of every yes. 1 in 4 of us.
That's huge.
Yeah, will be affected by stroke in our lifetime. 1 in 4 of us, and it can affect. People think it's a disease of old people. No, it can affect old people predominantly. So,
but look, you just said 1 in 4 of us will be affected by stroke in our lifetime.
That's right.
But you didn't say if we do not do A, B, C, or if that is it automatic.
That will happen. If that is what is the case. Obviously, if you do not do something about it, I think I can qualify and say that if you do not do something about it, And that means that you will have to manage the risk factors I've been talking about to prevent having a stroke. You have to change your lifestyle, for example. You have to, if you are a great smoker, you have to reduce your smoking. Then you reduce the chances of a stroke. Your blood pressure, if you manage your blood pressure well, if you go to hospital and your doctor manages your blood pressure well, you stand a chance of reducing, or you will reduce the chance of having a stroke. If you check your cholesterol levels regularly and manage your cholesterol levels, obviously you will stand a chance of reducing, or you will reduce the chance of getting a stroke. If you take regular exercise, you will reduce your chance of getting a stroke.
Look, we have 8 minutes, and it's amazing how time has gone so fast. 1 hour almost here. We have about 8 minutes left to have this discussion, and I'd like to use the rest of the time to focus on the Stroke Association Support Network Ghana.
Okay.
What do you do? How can people reach out to you? How can you help these persons? What have you been up to? I'm sorry I'm asking so many in one.
It's a very interesting subject anyway, and it's a big problem in the country, so I'm not surprised that you are asking so many questions. We were set up, the Stroke Association Support Network Ghana, in recognition of the fact that there is a problem of stroke in Ghana. And our purpose is to try and prevent stroke from happening in the first place. But if stroke happens, as it does happen, then we want to be able to support these people who have suffered a stroke. Life after stroke is important because a large number of them would have become disabled, living in the community, living in poor conditions and without a very good quality of life. And that we are set up to try and work with these stroke survivors. There are many stroke survivors, despite the fact that many also die. Many live for some time before they die. We want to support these stroke survivors to have a decent quality of life and contribute as much as they can to the communities in which they live in. We don't want them to be abandoned just because they've got a stroke.
What kind of support do you offer?
We will provide what you call emotional support. Because when they have when you have suffered a stroke and you are living alone, probably you develop depression. You become depressed, for example. You become very anxious. You begin to feel like abandoned. You are not wanted by society, and you live a very wretched life, if I can put it that way. We are there to support you. We will form rehabilitation centers. One of our big objectives going forward in the next 5 years is to have community-based rehabilitation centers or constituency-based rehabilitation centers. We aim to have a rehabilitation center in each of our constituencies. It's a huge undertaking, but we are determined, with the support of the Ministry of Health, to achieve this. Now, if we have these centers, these stroke survivors can go there every day. They can, when they go there, as they are in a group, they are talking to each other. They are having maybe physiotherapy for their limbs which are not working properly. Maybe they are having speech and language therapy for their speech which is not working properly. And these aspects of rehabilitation is what we call support, and which the Stroke Association Support Network Ghana is determined to implement for stroke survivors.
Somebody called from Bumpurugu another from Jomoro, another from Volta region.
Yeah, that's right.
And so what it means is that across the country,
if we have these centers across the country, then these people will have a place to go to every day, for example, and be supported in the various ways that they need to be supported, whether it is physical support, social support, emotional support, etc., etc.
There was one that also spoke about financial difficulties.
This is a big area and a very interesting area. In the United Kingdom, when I was director for the UK stroke services, we arrived at a position financially when we could actually support stroke survivors financially. And it is our aim here to get to the point where we can do this. We will need money, obviously, a lot of it. Right now we are not in that position. But it is one of the things that we want to be able to achieve ultimately.
Okay, so this is a very novel and noble project you are embarking on. But again, you have challenges, like you have said. So, number one, there may be people who want to reach out to you to offer support. There may be people who want to reach out to you so they can get support. I mean, it's both ways.
Yes.
How do people do that?
We've got, if I can find...
you please, yes, you
okay.
may. Yes.
We've got a number that they can call, because as you say, we need volunteers. There are many people who would like to volunteer and support these people. And we welcome these people, these volunteers. Because the more volunteers we have, the more able we are to support them. It's not everybody who wants to work for a payment. People just want to give of their time, and we welcome this. Now, if I can, I will find this in a minute. Right. Now, if you want to, us to support you, there is an address that an email address you can use. It's care dot sasnet Ghana SASNET Ghana.org.
Right.
If you contact us via this website, then we will be able to organize to help.
Doc, I do understand that
there is also a support line.
Which is what?
Which is I can give you the number.
Yes,
yes, it's 05 94 98 05 94 98 9495.
05 949 894 95. Yes. And so that's the number, and I'm more interested in that number. For those of you who want help, you want to help as a volunteer, but probably you also need help.
That's correct.
This is the number to call: 059 49 89495. Number again: 059 4989 495, and then you can get to speak to somebody from the Stroke Association Support Network Ghana. Doc, as we wrap up, what would be your advice to our numerous viewers out there, whether they have stroke or not?
Well, before that, I just wanted to say that we will soon be commemorating World Stroke Day.
I should have gone there.
That's right. World Stroke Day on the 29th of October. It's a day where we remember all those stroke survivors who are living with disabilities and their plight, and we urge governments to help us as an organization to support them while they live in their communities. So that is important to note. We call on everybody to join us on that day to commemorate stroke survivors across the country.
Interesting. So it's on the 29th
of October. We are actually having this in Peki, in the Volta region, and we are working in partnership with the Ministry of Health to commemorate this event.
When eventually the commemoration is done, we would like to look at the issues that came up for discussion, and also the support you have been giving to people so far. How have those people benefited from that support?
Our achievements
and so on. And we could get to speak to somebody who has been a beneficiary to get to understand all that. We wish you all the best, even as you prepare to put this together on the 29th. Like I said, we will certainly have to come back and look at this issue again for a condition that can affect more than 20% of Ghanaians. We should all be concerned. Doc, thank you so much for your time.
And thank you.
We are very grateful to you. So we've been speaking with Dr. Ben Jabuni. He's the President, Stroke Association Support Network Ghana, and he has been talking to us about stroke. But he also tells us on the 29th, there is a commemoration of World Stroke Day to draw attention to the signs, symptoms, and treatments for stroke, and for anyone who needs support. The number to call is 059-4989-495, 059-4989-495. You call them and seek some advice from the Stroke Association Support Network of Ghana. Thank you very much. We'll be here again tomorrow with another edition of Moomen Tonight. Good night. When the voices that